Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. This video I'm going to be going over how I am going to be prepping for success for this bulk. And so I mentioned in the last video that I was going to start by journaling on why I have not been able to make this bulk work since I did try to start it 6 months ago. And life has been crazy. Let me just preface that. Life has been crazy the last 6 months. So I am giving myself a lot of kindness and grace, and it is okay that I didn't prioritize it before. I still prioritize my health, my nutrition, my fitness, moving my body, practicing so much self-care. So maybe I needed the last 6 months to just slow way down and not put the pressure on myself to add one more thing to my plate, which is bulking, which can be a lot to prepare for. But this video, we're gonna get into what I'm going to do to ensure that it happens this time around. And so, like I mentioned in the last video, I'm going to journal on why I was not able to do that, why I was not able to commit the previous times, because there were definitely a few times over the last 6 months where I was like, nope, this is the week that I actually started. No, this is the week that I actually started. So this is the week I actually started. But I've been doing it this week, and like I said, I was getting back into the habit of tracking macros this week, but today I'm gonna sit down and film how I'm going to prepare to hit my macros next week. So I'm making a little bit of protein coffee, and let's get into it. Okay, I just got done journaling, and this is why I love journaling so freaking much, is because I uncovered something that I didn't even know, consciously, that I was doing. Light. But I started off with journaling by just reminding myself that it has been a crazy many months, and that yes, I know I was being lazy or not planning ahead, which I'm going to really own this time around. But I also uncovered that I have been fearful to gain weight, because I know I'm going to gain weight. I already have experienced that as I have been eating more the last few weeks. And none of my jeans fit except for the ones that maybe have a little extra give and are a little stretchy. So I had to go literally buy some new pants the other day. So subconsciously that has been stopping me from eating more, because I am afraid that I am going to gain weight. And even if I'm happy with the results and the strength that I'm building, I have that underlying fear. So I need to just practice so much self-love and remind myself that I want more strength and that my body is beautiful, and I am so grateful for my body and all that it does to carry me through life. So that is something I'm probably going to work on daily throughout this bulk, just to make sure that I'm practicing that extra self-love. So we got to the bottom of that. And yeah, I'm really glad. This is why I love journaling so much. If there's anything that you're ever struggling with, don't overthink it. Just start writing. And I promise you, you're going to uncover so much about your subconscious self that you didn't even know. Things that you need to heal, things that are preventing you from moving forward. So journaling is amazing. It doesn't have to be oh, I don't journal, I don't have a diary. It doesn't need to be like that. You can make it literally whatever you want, and only you are the one reading it. So I'm super glad I uncovered that. I'm gonna make a quick snack. First one of the day, I did have my protein coffee. Okay, I have 5 minutes before my first class, so I need to make my little bagel and cream cheese and deli slices. Okay, so now we get to the planning portion of hitting my macros and just taking this a little bit more seriously. My number one tip for people is to plan ahead so that you know exactly what you're gonna do. It's a lot harder to hit your macros or make dietary changes if you're not planning ahead. It's not impossible, but if you are tracking macros, it's very, very difficult unless you have so much experience. And I can hit mine pretty well, but even as a coach, it still helps me to plan ahead and just prepare for success. Know what meals I'm going to be eating, know what groceries I need to get that way. So at the end of the day, like when I'm trying to make dinner, I'm not left with 50 grams of protein, 10 grams of carbs, and like negative fat. So that happens a lot. And anytime someone comes to me saying, like, I just can't hit my macros, it's so hard, I ask if they're planning ahead in the app, and the answer is always no. So my number one tip is to, even before you start eating for the day, ideally you'll do this for the day before, and make it easy. Plan your macros for the one day and then eat the same exact thing for 3 to 5 days. So like during the whole week, if you're fine with repeating meals, plan one day to hit your macros and then eat the same exact things in the same portions. And, you know, you can always switch it up a little bit with like different veggies or like a different snack that might be around the same macros. But you are going to save yourself so much energy. You're going to save yourself so much time and thinking and just having to do this every single day. You can do it once for the whole week, like I'm doing for today. I'm planning my macros for all of next week because, like I said earlier in the video, I am just trying to get back into tracking this week and this weekend, just strengthening the habit of entering everything into the app again. And I'm planning ahead today so that I hit my macros next week. So I'm going to be eating the same thing probably all week unless I feel like switching up a snack here or there. So take the second guessing out of it, take the, the hard work every single day out of it, just plan it for the week and then eat the same thing day after day. And all you have to do is plan one day of macros. So that is my number one tip. I am just going to double check that I am hitting the macros that I have, or that I am, the macros that I have in the, oh my God, what am I saying? I am going to double check that the macros that I have in Cronometer already are the ones that I should be doing, just to make sure before I start planning my meals. So I used to use a different macro calculator, but instead of doing like all the math myself, like you learn that in personal training, certification courses and nutrition coaching courses. But honestly, when I find one that works well for me online, it just takes all the math out of it for me. But I do take it with a grain of salt and tweak it a little bit just based on personal experience as a coach and what works for my body and what works, in my opinion, better for coaching. But I have found one recently that I found for specifically that I was going to work with for bulking. So I found this several months ago and I actually like it a lot better. So let me turn the camera around and I'll show you. So it's called rippedbody.com and it's just a macro calculator. You can, tell them if you're cutting, bulking, or if you are in a recomp like maintenance phase. So you just fill out this simple form, 32, 55. And then to be honest, like I'm not trying to weigh myself all the time, but I did want to be accurate. Like this is the first time I've probably weighed myself in months. So that way I can see if my macros are accurate. So I might bleep this out, but that's my weight there currently. And so it is telling me I need 1,357 calories to sustain my weight. Well, not sustain my weight, to just survive, like 1,300 calories every single day. So this is why it is so important to eat enough, because that is how much it takes for me to literally survive, is 1,300 calories. So if you're someone who's not even eating like 1,200 calories or you're eating under your sustenance, that is not good. You're not even supporting your body with its regular functions. So this just goes to show you, you can eat way more than this and still lose weight, because I think it'll ask me eventually if I want to cut or bulk or maintain. And it will give me those calories. So I'll show you that as well. What is your activity level? I'm going to say lightly active because I am moving around a lot and I have a part-time job where I do move around a lot, plus 3 to 6 days of weightlifting. And then, so this is where, see if I put in cutting, see? 1,600 calories. So you can still cut, and this is probably an aggressive cut, I would say, because maintenance, maintenance is 2,100. So this is an aggressive cut to do 1,600 calories. So again, this just goes to show you that you do not need to drop your calories to 1,200 or starve yourself. You can eat probably anything under here, like 2,000 calories, you would still lose weight. Like, this is just my example, but I could eat less than 2,100, like around 2,000, and I would still lose weight. So this is an aggressive cut. But for bulking, I am going to say, how would you describe your training experience level? I'm going to go with advanced, and the description here is perfect for me. Progress is evident only when viewed over multiple months or a year, which is very true for anyone who has been on their fitness journey for a long time. You're not going to see results the next week like a beginner might who just started training. So this is what I already had in my app, which I think is because I got it from this website. So we'll see if 2,200 is working for me. Choose your fat intake preference. Let's say no preference, but I don't love doing super high fat. I would rather, my body responds really well to carbs, but let's say no preference because this is a bulk and I'm trying to just see what works for my body on a bulk. Would you like to cycle your calories and macros to match the days you train? Ooh, maybe I would. Ooh, I don't know. Should I? I've never done carb cycling or calorie cycling. Let's see what happens. How many days do I train? 4 days. Next step. So on my training days, I might do this. It might just make it a little bit more realistic for me to like not have to eat, especially like on days where I'm working and maybe I'm skipping the gym. I think I talked about that in the first video, that it is hard to fit in my meals when I'm working. I'm gonna turn this around. This is just like staring at the screen. Okay, hi. Sorry if that was like super boring, but I just want to take you through the macro calculator so you can see how I do it. But I think I might try this calorie cycling and carb cycling. I've never done it before, but like I was just saying, on days where I need to work or have, a ton of clients or something, and my schedule is just not allowing for me to eat a lot. Again, that's an excuse. I need to work on that. But this might be a way around it and make it a little bit easier. So in this case, I would have to plan 2 different macro days. But honestly, like, you don't have to plan like completely different meals. Like for the days where I'm training and it's saying it wants me to have 350 grams of carbs, and my rest days I would have 200 grams of carbs, I could just double up on the portions of carbs. Like if I'm having brown rice with a meal, double or triple the portion. So it's not like you have to reinvent the wheel and come up with a whole new set of meals. You could just have an extra carby snack or whatever. So you get the gist. But I think I might try this and then see how it goes. See how my body likes it. But I'm gonna start here. I'm logged into Cronometer, so I'm going to log some like sample days of meals and see what I feel like eating and what groceries I need to buy. So this is going to be how I plan ahead. And I will show you at the end, but I also want to plan, like in my planner, it really helps me to look at my week ahead of time, and it helps me to know like when I can actually go to the grocery store, when I can actually meal prep. So maybe I'll take you through that right now. I'm going to actually go onto my Google Calendar because that is where I have like all of my stuff. So let's get into that real quickly. Okay, I promise we're nearing the end of the video and all the computer screen time. But okay, so this is Saturday. So I think I'm gonna go to the store and let me see if I can type and do this. Groceries. and I color coordinate everything. So purple is like personal things and errands. I have a client my last client at 9. So I think I'm gonna hop in the car right after that and get groceries. So that's going to be Saturday. And then Sunday, I work at my part-time job. So maybe I can do a little bit of meal prep. And honestly, by meal prep, I just mean like chopping ingredients and maybe just helping myself out a little bit out for the week, helping myself out a little bit for the week, so that I'm not doing every single thing for a meal every time I'm trying to cook a meal for the week. So a little bit of meal prep. And then honestly, like I am going to put in groceries again on Wednesday because I don't like to waste food. Decided to flip it around again. But what I was saying is that I don't like to waste food. So when I buy like too many veggies, even if I kind of have them planned out for the whole week, I don't like if they start getting wilty, I don't want to use them, or I feel like I have to rush and use them. So I prefer to go to the store twice a week. That's just what works for me. But again, that requires planning ahead. I have to plan around my clients, my part-time job, things I need to get done for my business. So for me, it really helps to use Google Calendar. And then honestly, I even add it to my planner for that specific day so I can like physically check it off. So I'm going to go again Wednesday and then just have groceries for the rest of the week. And if I need to plan anything before I head to the grocery store again on Wednesday, as far as meals go, or maybe I'm getting sick of a meal, this will allow me to switch it up and go into Cronometer, or if you're using MyFitnessPal, go into the app and tweak things a little bit if I'm getting tired of a food. That way I know what to get at the grocery store to finish out the rest of the week and still hit my macros. So hopefully this is helpful to you. I don't know if that was all over the place. I might have been rambling. I really don't know. That might have been confusing just looking at my computer screen. So let me know. But if you do like these types of videos where we're sitting down together, and maybe it'll be a little bit smoother in the future as I get the hang of this. But I just want to show how I plan out my macros and plan for success and plan out when and what I'm going to do for the week. But yes, I'm going to go into Cronometer real quick and then I'll check in and then I'll probably end the video. So let me get my meals plugged in and then I'll check back in. Okay, I finished in Cronometer. I actually am going to stick with just the same macros, no matter if it's a rest day or a training day, because I'm trying to make this as easy as possible. So if you're trying to complicate things, it's going to make it a lot harder to stick with. So since I have struggled with this bulk already in the past, I am going to just stick with what I know is easiest and simplest. And I wanted to make some new meals next week. I am going to make a different dinner that sounds really tasty. But I'm going to stick with my regular tacos that I have for lunch. I'm just going to switch up a couple of the ingredients so that because I'm kind of getting sick of the flavor, to be honest. But again, I'm trying to make it easy on myself, do what I know works well. And yeah, so make it easy. But let's hop onto Cronometer really quick so I can show you a couple of tips. Okay, so these are my macros. I still want to try to hit at least 2,200 calories since I am focusing on a bulk. So I want to be as accurate as possible. But I did great with my protein. Carbs are pretty much there. Fats are pretty much there. So I'll just up it a couple grams. But you can never be like spot on with this. So you just do your best to hit them, and it's all a guesstimate anyway. So, but a couple of things. So I was over in my fat by about 5 or 6 grams. So what I did was I switched out, and this is just because I know I've been tracking for a long time. I switched out the Trader Joe's cream cheese and I did the Tofutti instead, which I know is lower in fat. So that actually dropped it quite a bit. And then I was lower on carbs. So I took out like an everything bagel, and I am going to go back to those mini bagels, and I'm going to eat 3 of them. And that'll give me about 15 to 20 grams more carbs than it would with just a regular bagel. So it's just all about tweaking those little bit of things. So this is another reason why it's so important to plan ahead in the app, because it is a lot easier to correct mistakes ahead of time instead of, trying to hit those macros super late at night and you're frustrated and you're hungry and you don't want to do it. So I just tweaked a couple of things before I even bought my groceries, did any meal prep, or ate the meals. So that's why it is so important to plan ahead. If you are truly trying to track macros or you're really trying to hone in on your nutrition for fitness purposes, then definitely plan ahead. Take the time. It took me extra time since I was recording this, but if I just sat down and did the little macro calculator, that would have taken me 2 minutes. And then to plan my meals, honestly, because I've had experience, it took me about 5 minutes, and I just kind of knew what I wanted to eat, and then I tweaked a little bit. So even if you give yourself 20 to 30 minutes, if you are a beginner at this, you are going to thank yourself the rest of the week. And it's just so much easier to plan for success and set yourself up for success. So I hope this video was helpful. Hopefully it gave you a few tips. Hopefully you weren't bored looking at my computer screen. But I'm just trying to document my journey so that I stay accountable and to help you along with your journey. Whether you're cutting, whether you're bulking, whether you're maintaining, whether you're new, whether you're advanced, I just hope this appeals to anyone who is on their journey and wants a little bit of support or just likes watching this type of video. I don't know what my next video will be, maybe what I eat in a day just to follow up this one. And you can kind of see what I typically eat on a vegan diet as I'm bulking. So I hope you all have an amazing weekend, whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next video.